brace yourselves as we plunge into the cosmos of implausible heroes who thumb their noses at the rules of physics. But hold on a second, can these superpowered marvels actually hold water in the ocean of reality?
These aren't your run-of-the-mill Cape Crusaders. They're the eccentric outliers of the superhero universe, the ones who make the impossible look like child's play.
From bending the laws of physics to tying time itself in knots, these extraordinary beings redefine the very notion of superpowers.
I'm Adam Andrews.
And I'm AJ Spatola with Top 10 Nerd, and these are the top 10 unbelievable superheroes who can't be stopped.
Huzzah!
At number 10 is Dr. Manhattan, one of the most mind-bending superheroes ever conceived. His abilities are so off the charts that they would make your head spin faster than a centrifuge. We're talking about powers that could rewrite the laws of physics during a lunch break, and if not, casually undermine them. His powers seem to be only limited by the imagination, as the Doctor himself is essentially a cosmic consciousness, with the physical form we interact with actually just a construction. His powers are nothing short of absurd, like imagine having your atoms scattered like breadcrumbs, or being teleported away before you've had your say, both of which are things Rorschach can relate to. That joke was a very poor taste, I'm sorry guys. But perhaps his most fascinating ability is that which allows him to see through the veil of time and space. Now for those of you who are wondering how that's possible, go read the comic. The Watchmen illustrates how he perceives time not as linear like you or I perceive it, but as parallel, witnessing all events of his life unfolding at the same time. The only thing he couldn't see was the stuff that Ozymandias was up to, because that dude was literally making the deliberate effort to obscure it from Manhattan's perception. If you're enjoying this video so far, you can support the channel by pressing like, subscribing to Top 10 Nerd, and ringing the notification bell. Adam and I really appreciate it.
Number 9. Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock is one of the most powerful cosmic characters, maybe not just in Marvel Comics. He was the keeper of the Soul Gem, and beyond the powers that come with that, which included him to pass back and forth into the Soul World, he is immortal, able to regenerate himself and gain new powers using a cocoon, and he can manipulate matter and energy on a cosmic scale. Warlock was created by a group of researchers who called themselves the Enclave. Their goal was to create the perfect human being, the pinnacle of future human evolution. The creature they had created emerged and immediately sensed that something was not quite poppin' with his creators. They wanted to use him for evil. So he escaped and became Space Jesus in the Marvel Universe, and there is no other appropriate title for him. He has destroyed and rebuilt reality, is the avatar of life, and has even become the living tribunal, otherwise known as the judge of the universe.
At number 8 is adult Franklin Richards. As the son of Reed Richards and Suzanne Storm of the Fantastic Four, Franklin Richards was already one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe, even as a child, on account of his superbly powerful reality warping abilities. So one could only imagine the strength possessed by a version of Franklin who's honed his skills with years of practice. On second thought, you don't have to imagine, because Marvel provides us with a few examples of his powers which seemingly have no upper limit. He can, for example, repair a dying star, he's invented a box that Black Bolt can speak safely inside of, fought multiple Celestials at once while easily surviving their most powerful attacks, and even defeats one of these Celestials with a single punch. And how could we forget, he revives a defeated Galactus, making Galactus his herald. It's even said that a child version of Franklin Richards has been manipulating the time stream for years, and is the very reason nobody ages or stays unalive, because Franklin himself refuses to grow up. Can we please get an Elseworlds or What If where someone puts a stop to this, leading to a superhero world that doesn't rely on the status quo, resulting in, I don't know, defeated heroes who actually age and bad guys who sometimes win? If only.
Number 7. Swamp Thing. Alec Holland was a chemist and botanist who spent most of his efforts creating a chemical formula that could increase the growth speed of plants, and even let plants grow in abnormal places. That sounds lovely, but unfortunately for Alec, the lab he was working in was sabotaged and he passed away in the ensuing explosion and fire while running out into the swamp where his lab resided. Since his body was covered in the formula he created, his consciousness was absorbed by the plant life of the swamp. In a new human-like plant body, Alec rose as Swamp Thing. Alec was now an Earth elemental and avatar of the green, essentially a god of plants, with unimaginable levels of superhuman strength, durability, and inability to feel pain. He also had regeneration from plant life, he could move at the speed of light somehow, alter his size drastically, shapeshifting to allow himself other abilities like flight, duplication, chlorokinesis, or control over plants, which allows him to teleport through plant life as well. And thanks to his connection to the green, he can even move through time and possesses cosmic awareness. He's taken control of all the algae on Earth to remove most of the Earth's oxygen in just a show of strength. He's taken hits from an even restrained Superman and knocked the wind out of Wonder Woman. Swamp Thing is one of the more interesting heroes that DC has, and he deserves way more respect on his name.
At number 6 is Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter often flies under the radar when discussing formidable superheroes, overshadowed by flashier counterparts. That pun was not intended. Surely telepathy and shapeshifting are his go-tos, but his true might is worth a double take. I mean, think about it. Phasing through matter, Martian vision, density alteration, these aren't just parlor tricks. And who could forget the version of himself who defeated Darkseid and then went on to merge with the planet of freaking Mars? Mars? Like what?
Number 5. Superman Prime 1 million. The Kal-El who lived in the 853rd century survived as long as he did by literally becoming the living extension of the sun. He left the Earth somewhere in the late 21st century when everyone he cared about had already passed on, and he traversed the entire DC multiverse, going beyond time and space, and has been said to have reached as far as heaven and hell themselves. He was created by Grant Morrison and Val Semmes and first appeared in DC 1 million number 4 in 1998. Now, this version of Superman has pretty much all the same general powers of his normal day self, only Superman Prime remained in Earth's sun for 15,000 years, increasing his abilities to immeasurable levels. He is known to dwarf the might of even the massively powerful Kal Kent, who is himself more powerful than the gravitational pull of a collapsing star, and is multiple times faster than the speed of light. But he is kinda just Superman who can do a hell of a lot more by just strengthening the heck out of it.
At number 4, the unbeatable Squirrel Girl. Doreen Green, aka Squirrel Girl, might not boast a jaw-dropping array of powers at first glance. Think increased speed, agility, strength proportionate to that of a squirrel, and a snazzy bushy tail. But here's the kicker, it's not about what she's got, but how she swings it. It sounded a lot worse than it needed to be. For Squirrel Girl's finesse in employing these abilities has turned her into a legitimately unstoppable force to be reckoned with. Marvel's entire rogues gallery, from the oddly shaped MODOK to the gargantuan Fin Fan Foom, to the cosmic Big Shot Galactus, to the infamous and all-powerful Thanos, all have found themselves on the losing side when facing Squirrel Girl. It's gotten to the point where now there's this running gag that Squirrel Girl just casually defeats top-tier villains off-panel. Yet beneath the humor lies a seriously cool power package, solidifying Squirrel Girl as Marvel's premier superhero.
Number 3. Blue Marvel. A former Marine and scientist turned superhero, Adam Brashear is not only one of the strongest heavy hitters in Marvel Comics, but he's also one of the smartest characters and one of my absolute underutilized favorites. His origins take place in the 1960s during a project to use antimatter as an energy source. Adam and his best friend Connor were caught in an explosion that turned Adam into a living, stable antimatter reactor, which should in theory be pretty much impossible. This power is insane. To put it into perspective, 1 gram of antimatter contains the same energy as the device dropped that ended World War II. 1 droplet could power the entirety of New York City for a full day. Using this power, he was capable of effortlessly lifting the 1960s era American warship Enterprise, which weighs over 93,000 tons, and then he just flew it all the way back to America. He effortlessly moved a meteor the size of Arkansas to save the world, and the Watcher said that Adam is capable of splitting the moon in half with a single blow. He was able to directly engage Iron Man, Ares, Wonder Man, and Ms. Marvel in combat at the same time and casually overpower them, and then he turned around and pushed the Sentry to the limits of his strength and knocked him into Earth's orbit with a single punch. His durability has allowed him to survive a hydrogen device going off literally in his hands and walking away unfazed. He may be seemingly relegated to the background of Marvel Comics, but Blue Marvel is practically unstoppable. unstoppable.
At number 2, Scarlet Witch. We all know how easy it would be for Wanda Maximoff to take over the planet. I mean, we recently saw her turn an entire town into her own personal soap opera. But the conquest of a single town pales in comparison to when she rewrote history during the House of M event, granting everyone in this new reality everything they've ever wanted, whilst erasing their memories of their previous reality. In this idealist world, Spider-Man is married to Gwen Stacy, Cyclops and Emma Frost are married, Doctor Strange is a successful psychologist, Carol Danvers, who's usually known as Miss Marvel, is now Captain Marvel, America's Patriot, as Steve Rogers was never frozen in ice and thus was now an aged veteran. It's later revealed that Magneto used his daughter to give everyone what they wanted in that reality so that he could have what he desired most: global domination and a world where mutants dominate over the common man.
Number 1. The Silver Surfer. The Silver Surfer is one of the most powerful beings in the universe, gifted with the power cosmic by the world-devouring Galactus. Surfer possesses a level of strength rivaled by very few that has allowed him to do things like crush diamonds and toss away dwarf stars. Those two things seem really different. He has near invulnerability, and on the low chance that he does even get hurt, he can heal it almost instantly, and he also has the ability to manipulate cosmic energy at will, which grants him a whole list of other abilities and augmentations. His surfboard grants him the power of flight without expending his own energies, because he can fly on his own, and it allows him to travel faster than the speed of light. Like, he has traveled light years in 1 second. As the Herald of Galactus, Silver Surfer has navigated the far reaches of the universe, facing unimaginable threats and challenges. His mastery over cosmic energy allows him to project devastating energy blasts and construct force fields capable of withstanding almost any attack. On top of that, his connection to the power cosmic grants him virtually limitless cosmic knowledge and awareness. And yet, despite his immense power, Silver Surfer grapples with his conscience and carries the burden of past deeds done in service to Galactus. This inner conflict adds depth to the character, making him a complex and relatable figure in the Marvel Universe. With his cosmic abilities, unwavering sense of justice, and a desire to atone for his past, Silver Surfer remains an indomitable force in the cosmic landscape, protecting the universe from unimaginable threats. And there you have it.
10 crazy superheroes who simply cannot be stopped, but that's all the time we have.
So, we will catch you nerds on the flippy flop, but until then, keep it real. Peace out, nerds.
Later, nerds.